all these voices. All these voices, all these things you can't explain, all these painful memories, they keep haunting you and daunting me. It's just a ghost of you and me. It's just a smoke and gasoline. It's just a ghost of you and me, of you and me. All these whispers, all these footsteps in the rain, all these shadows in my mind, with my reflection I can't find. It's just a ghost of you and me. It's just a smoke and gasoline. It's just a ghost of you and me, of you and me. Don't let them take you away. Don't let them bring you down inside. It's just the mirrors in your mind. Don't let them bring you down.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first video in the lore series from the Staring Into the Abyss show. We're going to start this off with a very strange and fascinating creature. This creature is called an Aracne. An Aracne is actually where we get the term arachnid for spider, arachnophobia, all those terms off of that. The Aracne are creatures with spider-like abilities and attributes. They appear human with mottled skin and double irised eyes. Arachnes are capable of spinning a strong web to keep their victims captive. And they also have an infectious bite that can turn a human into Arachne. And they're also capable of reproducing with other Arachnes. They are strong, and they are able to survive gunshot wounds and also fire. So the only real guaranteed way to kill one is through decapitation. So you have to cut the head off the Arachne in order to make sure that it's dead. Now the story of the Arachne comes from Greco-Roman mythology, and there's like 3 different versions of this. They all follow the same basic theme. Arachne was a maiden who dyed cloth and sewed things, and she was actually credited for inventing linen cloth and nets. And her son Closter introduced the use of a spindle in the manufacture of wool. She was supposedly really good at weaving and at sewing and making all these things. So good, in fact, that her friends would tease her and say that her skill rivaled that of Athena. And instead of being humble, she was proud. And that was where the problem came in. She laughed and joked that she was better than Athena, that she could sew and create tapestries that were way better than anything Athena could do. Athena heard her saying this because, you know, Athena was a goddess, and she came down and disguised herself as an old woman and came to the door of Arachne and said, "I heard that you are better than even Athena." And instead of taking this opportunity to be humble, instead Arachne laughed and continued to boast how much better she was than Athena at weaving and sewing and all this stuff. So Athena revealed herself to be Athena and challenged her to a contest. Now this is where the 3 different tales branch off in different directions. In the first version, Athena weaves a tapestry about how mankind has been too proud and stood up to the gods before, and how basically the gods smack them down every time, and how they put them in their place. Aracne, she weaved a tapestry all about the cruelty of the gods, and especially about Zeus and how he ran around with all these women behind Hera's back. And this really made Athena angry. So Athena ripped up the tapestry and she hit Aracne on the head 3 times, knocking her loopy. Then she sprinkled some poison over top of her, this special herb, and it turned Aracne into a giant spider creature. Basically, she started to mutate and grow arms, and her hair fell off, and all these things happened. Her nose fell off. She became a giant spider-looking creature, and that was her punishment. In the next version of the story, it basically follows along the same lines, except for in this story, Athena wins. And the prize in this contest was that the loser would never be able to sew or weave or create anything again. So Athena wins, and Aracne gets so upset that she can't create anything anymore that she goes out and she kills herself. She hangs herself. Athena feels sorry for her, so she brings her back to life, but she turns her into this spider creature to teach her her lesson about mouthing off to the gods. In the third version of this story, it's kind of like the other two, where it has a lot of the same setup, but in this one, Aracne wins again, but then ends up hanging herself anyway. In this one, Athena wove a tapestry that had the people of Greece in it with Poseidon, and they were trying to decide how to name the city of Athens. And Aracne wove a tapestry about Zeus and his seduction of Europa and a bunch of other women. Athena got mad because Aracne had insulted the gods, but her work was so beautiful that Athena was in awe of her. And she realized that there's no way that Aracne could live without weaving, and basically she turned her into the spider to teach her a lesson. The magic didn't work completely, but it filled Aracne with like guilt about, you know, what she had done for her insolence, and then she went out and hung herself basically. And then out of pity, Athena brought Aracne back to life and made her a spider once and for all, so that they could weave, you know, her and all of her descendants could weave for the rest of her life. So basically all 3 of these follow the same basic pattern, that Aracne was a human woman who was, you know, too proud and mouthed off to Athena, the goddess, and she punished her. That's the basic moral of the story here. You would think that possibly these things would have died out in ancient Greece, but because they can infect human beings with their bite and turn people into other arachnes, and because they can mate with each other, they have persisted up until the present day. The only way to kill the Aracne, once again, is through decapitation. So if you are unlucky enough to ever see one of these or have to go up against one, make sure you cut its head off. I hope that you enjoyed this. The Aracne is something that most people don't know about. It's not one of your big time monsters that everybody knows, but it's a very interesting one. And it has a really cool backstory in ancient Greek mythology. So I thought you guys might enjoy that to kick this thing off. I'm going to be making a lot of other videos on lore, some creatures that you'll recognize and some you've never heard of. So it'll be really fun and interesting to do, and I hope you tune in for the rest of them. If you like this episode, please hit like and subscribe, and check out all of our other videos. We have a bunch of really cool shows. Staring into the Abyss, Writer's Block, We're Screwed. I make all kinds of different videos on here, so they're completely free for you, so enjoy them. Until I talk to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. Bye-bye.